Dear you, have you ever stopped to think what comes to your mind when you hear the word death? As a doctor, I once thought that eventually I become numb to death, that after seeing it so many times that I would get used to its presence, but never. Like every patient that I do is the death becomes very new, very real, very low again. And mostly in the hospital, like death feels very tangible, and with it I've seen death having two sides, the solo and the peaceful side. I remember as a medical student, the first patient that I lost when I was starting my clerkship, she was in her old age and she was really struggling. She was battling her terminal diseases, and I could see that every day life was being taken out of her because she constantly had sleepless nights, quite like groaning every time, and also I would say that there was a lot of pain. And then one day there was no pulse, she was gone. And in that moment I saw one thing, is that pain had lost on her face. From the moment I saw her when she was still alive to the time I saw her when she was dead, on her face you could see a peaceful thing that I couldn't even myself struggle to see. And also as a doctor, I've also experienced this side of families, because sometimes they don't know how to react. For instance, if you've had a patient who is very terminal, seeing every pain when they die, of course you cry, of course they feel the pain, they feel the sorrow, but again there is something that is beyond those tears, those eyes filled with tears. There is something that I can call gratitude. Grateful because the struggle is over, grateful because the pain is over, but still there is this sorrow because dreams are taken away, a person is taken away. But then not all deaths are like that, that those deaths that are like quick, sudden, unexpected. Of course, it is very weird to say unexpected, because as we live every day, we know that death is going beside us, But then there's those deaths that happen, you're like, what's going on? And in that moment, you feel like life is being stolen in an instant. Most of the time, you don't cry fast because it just feels so unreal, and sometimes you're hoping that maybe they're going to come back, but no, they don't come back. They're gone. They're gone. And in that moment, I just go into my mind and rewind and think and think and think and be like, what could have changed the outcome? And yet in the middle of that pain, I've seen something beyond the end. I've seen something beyond death, something eternal. I've seen hope of afterlife give comfort, not only to me, but also to my patients and also to my families. I've seen families find strength in the promise of heaven. I've felt peace in my own heart, knowing that Christ defeated death. This truth changes everything. Because Christ lives, death does not hold the final word. Because Christ was risen, I'm hopeful for the reunion with the loved ones. Because he won, so Lord, one day have no space. And so my heart rejoices. Of course, there's still grief, there's still pain, because losing someone is never easy. But again, there is hope that there is a risen Savior, and he is coming again. And when he comes, every side of death, every inch of death will be taken away. Find hope in that. Death is not the end. Christ is.